Welcome to another episode of Inspired Voices. My name is Riera, and this is Zaklina Claudia.
Hi, nice to meet you. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you being here. I know we got a mutual friend, Samuel.
Yes, we do.
Good guy, obviously.
Very good guy. Yeah.
Yeah, very. It's like he's got a pure heart, I feel like.
Pure heart. You can call him at 4 a.m. with a flat tire and he'll be there.
Right. So why don't you tell everybody what you do?
Sure. So my name is Zaklina Claudia. I am a mindset expert and peak performance coach. Basically what I do is the short term would be life coaching, but it's so much more than that. I help people get stable in many areas of their life, keep accountability. They share secrets to me that even their spouses may not know. And I absolutely love it. I absolutely love helping people with their wealth and mental health as they go hand in hand a lot of times. And it's been phenomenal with how many people I've helped and my whole journey. I keep learning.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it the way you did, because people just say, I'm a life coach or mind coach and stuff like that, but then that's it. They kind of just don't go in too much depth into it.
Right.
And so I was gonna, ask what exactly does that mean? But I mean, that's kind of clear what you do.
Yeah, and I can elaborate a little further. I help people with their behavioral patterns, thought patterns, and reaction patterns. And so that is the mental health part. We can dive deeper into that neuro-linguistic programming there, but
right. I mean, you're basically like a therapist at that point, right? Part of it.
Yeah, and that's where it gets confusing, right? Because am I seeking a life coach or am I seeking a therapist? And I think that some clients who have not processed their past and not accepted their past are not ready to have a life coach, because that's about the future. That's about moving forward. And that is the main difference. However, I do have my clients unload as needed, of course, to help them with their day-to-day challenges.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to spill the beans, as they say, to you in order to really get the correct kind of course that they want to go to.
Right.
So the more open they are, obviously, the better they're going to get helped, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. I would say once they finally decide to use their distractions as reasons why they should work harder, instead of using their distractions as excuses why they shouldn't work harder, that's when they need me.
Gotcha.
That's when they reach out to me. And some people will never be ready. And all of us, I would say, we're never 100% ready for everything that's thrown at us. But taking that step is half the battle. So
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Like I told you earlier, I was so tired today.
Yeah.
I did not want to life, and I was contemplating. I was like, should I just reschedule?
Right.
I was like, no, I'm gonna stick through it. That's probably something that you would say to your clients then.
Yeah, I mean, it's discipline and consistency are the hardest battles. Even today, like I told you, it took me 2 hours after waking up to start being productive. I mean, you just have to know that there are 24 hours in a day, and if you need that me time, schedule it out and then be productive.
I mean, those two things alone are just, like you said, they're the hardest things. And I find it to be the hardest things for myself as well. I'm sure everybody does at certain points, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like to be a mindset coach and stuff like that, and really get down to the nitty gritty, I guess you have to take actions yourself in order for your clients to take actions on their life as well. Walk the walk kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So do you find those two things difficult for yourself as well?
I do. We still, as coaches, we still
You're still human.
Try to be. We're all human, We're all human. We still all have room for improvement. I would say that consistency and persistency and knowing what you want and planning out an action step towards that is what's going to help you the most.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Having been through all of these experiences, I feel like it's important to have gone through that instead of just being book smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather hire someone that had gone through all these doubts, traumas, you know, issues in life, in order to have that person understand, actually listen to understand, versus let's look what I'm supposed to say next or do next, you know,
Right.
only book smart. So
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, that's what I would want too. That reminds me of like how some people are picky about therapists because of, oh, they don't know my situation, they've never been through it, that kind of thing. But that's good. I mean, let's just start from the top. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Illinois, but I am from Cary, North Carolina. I moved to Cary, North Carolina 2013.
2013, okay. How was it in Illinois then?
Cold and construction.
Yeah,
but
and construction?
Yep. But I can't hate on it. My family is there, and I absolutely love them.
Yeah.
And so I visit from time to time, a few times a year when I can. And
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So 2013, how old were you when you was it still as an adult or?
2013, I was probably in my prime, 21.
21? Oh, okay, wow. Okay, that's a big move then.
Yeah.
For 21. Did you move by yourself?
No, I actually had somebody I was with at the time in the Army, and so I decided to make that move since I finished college and just wanted to first start, and it was the best decision I've ever made. I love it here.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So talk to me about that move. Like, well, before that move even. So you were together with him. He was going into the Army, right?
Yeah.
So what, he was going to be stationed in Fort Bragg or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So how was that mentally for you? Were you kind of like, oh no, or like, let me think about it. I never thought about it before kind of thing.
Roller coaster of emotions, to be honest. You know, there were times where I was just not wanting to do it, you know, scared to leave my family, as everyone would be. And then part of me was really excited. Excited because I knew there was something more. I knew there was something bigger that I was supposed to experience and learn and things like that. And so slowly it became more and more exciting, you know.
Okay.
And I feel like the distance, you know, they always say distance makes the heart grow fonder, things like that. I feel like the distance from family actually provided a better connection with them. So I would say due to that, it was an amazing choice, especially, yeah.
Did you, I don't know, like, so were you in college at the time or no?
Finished college,
You finished college?
Uh-huh.
So like, what were you going to college for?
Actually, mass media communications.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So like, what was the goal there?
So I actually wanted to be in digital advertising. I wanted to do something with audio editing and public speaking and things like that. So honestly, what I'm doing right now is I guess I'm living somewhat part of the dream, right?
Yeah.
But again, no one really truly uses their degree. I mean, most people at least. Some people do, but most people seem to not. So I'm happy that I've gotten the experience through college to help me kind of uplift my journey through as a small business owner. Yeah.
Did you, were you thinking of like, obviously like working for someone, or is it kind of like yourself, like when you knew you wanted to be an entrepreneur kind of thing?
I didn't know, and I'll actually tell you where it clicked for me, because for the longest time I just wanted to work at a radio station or something like that for the longest time. And you know, I worked for somebody, audio editing, film editing and things like that, and I was like, this is it? This is what I dreamt of? Because this is not it. This is not it.
What were you expecting?
Expecting more, wanting to wake up to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
and
does.
Before in college, I was waking up to be in that class. I was ready for it. But when it actually came down to it, I realized I got bored.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a tough decision, because it's like, did I make the right decision even going to this degree?
Right. Right. But it did help. It did help me communicate and be more confident with myself. Public speaking and things like that. It helped me to understand the tediousness of editing, to understand how much work is put into that, and noticing little things when I watch TV, if I do watch TV. So, I mean, and to also promote my business, it helped me in that way, you know, to create content a little bit, market myself. So
obviously you learned like different things in college through that, like public speaking, you said, right? And all these little things. Yeah. What was like your favorite thing? I
would say the audio editing.
Really? Why audio editing?
So what I found really interesting is that people use so many creative things to produce a sound for a movie that you would never think of, but to us it sounds like that. Right. Right? Horses galloping, it's really not that. Or
like celery,
sword fighting.
A bunch of celery like breaking, that's your bones breaking.
Right, right. So I found it really, really interesting, and I really loved diving into a project like that. It was fun for me. It was a lot of fun for me.
So was it like the actual engineering part, or was it like a Foley artist, like making the sound effects and stuff like
Both.
that? Okay, gotcha.
Both, yeah. Both together were
Nice.
fun. But as we were speaking of, you know, what really made it click for me that I wanted to be a coach is in 2020, I kind of lost everything, as many people did. You know, I lost my job because I couldn't do it anymore.
Because of the pandemic?
Because of the pandemic.
Gotcha.
So I was spending my savings to kind of survive. And then on top of that, I almost lost my dad. He made it.
Oh, wow.
And on top of that, I went back to Illinois, lost my home in Cary, North Carolina during that because I couldn't go back. Also had a break-in happen. Long story. Lost my grandma. So I lost a lot of mental health mostly and financial health. And I was like, I don't want anybody in my mental or financial situation ever. Boom. I need to do something. Why not start my own business? I can make money, help myself, but also help people around me during this time to not suffer the way that I did, because it was miserable. I was living in my parents' basement for a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot to go through.
Right.
And what's your take on, so you had that realization, what's your take in general about people who do like mindset coaching and stuff like that?
I feel like it is something that everyone can benefit from.
Okay.
I feel like it's a healthy thing. Just like people say, oh, I don't need a therapist, but it's always healthy to talk to a third perspective. You know, people look so negatively on needing a therapist or talking to a therapist or talking to a life coach, you know, etc. Sometimes people take that as, oh, I'm crazy. Right. But to be honest, it's just growth. It's just part of growth. And the fact that you're even trying to do that is...
Yeah, a little pat on the back.
Pat on the back. Yeah.
So let's go back a little bit. So 2020, you went through all of that. You had to move in with your parents again and stuff like that. Obviously, was it kind of like, did you feel defeated at that time?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, were you like sitting in your parents' basement and it was just like I'm done. I don't know what to do. Like I'm stuck in life and stuff like that, right? Stuck.
Yeah. I was completely feeling stuck, lost, all of it. And the thing is I wasn't necessarily stuck. I just needed to be found. I needed to be heard. I needed to take action that maybe I could have taken a little sooner, but I would let all these negative things affect me. And that's another thing. People's environment and the people that they are around is who they become and what they become. And I was kind of in that poor mindset that made me realize I need to help my mindset and help others with their mindset as well.
Gotcha.
So,
did you know the things you needed to do, or were you not aware of it at all? I mean, or you just didn't know that option existed?
first I didn't know. Then I knew, but was in denial. And then I was procrastinating.
Yeah.
And then I said, enough is enough. I'm tired of being tired.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of the stages we all go through, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. I was like, oh shit, that's me right there.
Yeah.
Especially like when it comes to, it's funny because like these things pop into your head like, ooh, I should do that, and then you don't take action on it, and then it comes again, and it comes again, and it comes like more frequently until you can't ignore it anymore.
Right.
So you have to take action on it.
Yeah, and that's when you start realizing that voice in your head is powerful, and
Yeah.
you have to make sure you listen to it if it's a positive thing. But some people only have negative voices, so that's a challenge as well.
So when it comes to that thing that you're supposed to do and it pops into your mind, to you, like, what is that? Is it your subconscious telling you the truth, or is it your future self coming back and letting you know, hey, this is the route you need to take?
Right, and this is a tricky question. I feel like part of it is, your subconscious mind, but what I like to call it is, your higher self, your person that you want to be, that is knocking sense into yourself. If you know that 90% of the time you're on autopilot, whether you're driving somewhere and you're like, oh, I'm here, or whether you're just texting yeah or okay or whatever it may be, you're able to let that voice in without even realizing it. And so I just call it my subconscious or my higher self talking to me like, hey, stop messing around now.
Right.
Like, you're going to regret this.
It's almost like your subconscious knows you more than you know you. Possibly. I don't know, something like that.
No, that's really good. That's really good because we're deeply built. There are layers to your subconscious, once you get past a certain layer and it's deeply constructed in there, it's hard to rewire and, get out of certain patterns. But we're definitely able to.
Yeah. I think that's why I did, like when I changed my life at 24, I did hypnosis before I did meditation. And so,
oh, wow.
Because I knew that it was my subconscious thought that I was having negative thoughts about. And so what hypnosis did for me was it trained my subconscious thoughts to change that mindset into a more positive way.
Right. I love that. I support hypnosis all the way. I think that...
Have you done it?
I've done it once.
All right.
But I definitely want to try it again and really go for more sessions. I only went once, and some people it's hard to settle in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It does.
And mostly it's you have to find someone that you connect with, otherwise it's not going to work.
Right. Right.
If you feel the energy is off and you can't connect with the person constructing it, it's probably not going to work because you're going to be embarrassed. You're going to not know what you're going to say or do.
You're not fully open.
You're not fully open. You're not fully honest with yourself, and not fully honest with them. And so I think that's kind of what happened with me is I didn't connect with that particular person as much as I thought I would. Yeah. And so I'm ready to try it again, though. I think it's a good thing to do. Help my mom. My mom did that.
And nice.
It was wonderful to see the change, and so I love that you did that. It definitely helps you dive deep into your subconscious in a quicker way.
Yeah, definitely a quicker way. And obviously you could go to someone, but even just YouTube has hypnosis sessions and stuff like that. It's just about, like you said, finding the right one that works for you.
Yeah.
And then I still do it to this day, nice. I have tracks that I listen to before I have like a big business meeting and stuff like that. I have like a sales confidence hypnosis or something like that. It just really helps. But yeah, what did you think about it when you first did it? Did you feel like that difference?
So when I first did it, it took me a long time to settle in.
Oh, right now.
And I kind of knew I was starting to get into the transition of sleep, but then my thoughts would kind of wake me up at a certain question, and I just couldn't fully get there.
Yeah. Yes, a lot of people think you're asleep when you're doing a hypnosis, but you're not.
Yeah.
You know? You could fully wake up anytime you want.
Right.
You were just saying something. Oh yeah, it took you. You were restless, right? You couldn't, ease into it or anything.
Yeah, I was restless. My energy was nervous, and so I definitely recommend to those who want to start hypnosis to kind of get your energy out a little bit. Meet beforehand and do kind of a energy clearing session or something like that to get your mind ready for it instead of right away going into it because you're going to be restless. At least for me, that's.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Even for me, like nowadays, I have to actually do like 10 to 20 minutes prior to a hypnosis session. I have to do a meditation session to kind of like get the voices out of my head and just like make sure I'm calm and stuff like that.
Right.
My mind just be racing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so that is important to do, or go for a walk in nature or something like that. Whatever it is for you. But yeah, doing that prior, that helps a lot. It gets you into it faster.
Now, a question about when you do meditations or hypnosis, do you usually do it at night before sleep?
I used to do it at night before I go to sleep. It's not like a consistent thing as far as every day or a particular time of day. I used to do it in the morning when I first woke up, and then did some like gratitude journaling and stuff like that. And now I just kind of just do it when I need to. And stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome. I always try to do affirmation videos, YouTube videos at night. Having someone get me into a meditation by slowly saying affirmations that I need and having healing frequencies in the background while doing it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've been doing to rewire my own brain and keep it that way.
Yeah, I like that. I do that too.
Awesome.
I think that's important too.
Yeah.
I usually first thing in the morning when I have to drive somewhere, I put on YouTube affirmations as I'm driving to the place and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's kind of like my thing now that I kind of consistently do, I guess.
Good.
But no, it really does help. Affirmations especially,
Yeah.
People don't realize if your mind is open to it, it'll kick in there, and your subconscious is taking that information in,
Definitely, and especially when you're waking up as well, you can definitely train your subconscious that way before sleep and waking up. And I love that you do the gratitude. Not a lot of people realize how important that is because it's like we get what we look for, right? You say, man, what else is going to happen? And then
right. Something else is going to happen.
Something happens. It's like skiing and you look at the trees instead of look at the snow, So I really, really am myself working on doing some gratitude journaling and things like that when I wake up or when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because I feel like being more positive will set your day that way.
Yeah, it really will. And some nice dreams, I think, too.
Yeah, nice dreams. Yep.
I remember testing it out one time because it was when I was heavy into the law of attraction.
Oh, I love
that.
And so
I was like, let me test this out. Let me just be negative and
Yeah.
see what happens. I was negative. I got into a wreck, lost my car for 6 months. I started having like my relationships were, kind of turning over, and I was like, God damn.
Like, it's true, right?
I was like, yeah. I was like, never doing that again.
Yeah.
I tested the theory. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, there's the yin yang, balance. So if you're negative, you're going to get negative. You're positive, you're going to get positive. But we have to learn how to balance it into a vibration where even a little bit less positive, you're still in a positive.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. And I feel like some people might be a little overwhelmed with, I have to, like monitor my thoughts and stuff like that. Think about this. Like, no. Just do you feel good? Do you feel bad? And that's pretty much what it boils down to.
Right. What you feel.
Yeah.
what you feel.
Yeah.
So I always try to do some mirror talk and feel what I want to feel when I'm doing what I'm practicing on or what I'm telling myself, you know? I feel like no one really does mirror talk.
Yeah, not a lot of people talk about it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, mirror talk. Like, I don't even, I think maybe I did that once or twice, but I don't know why I don't do it more often.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I did do it, like, I could feel that change quicker.
Right.
I guess you could say.
You're like, you got
Who's
you
a bad
got this.
bitch? Who's a bad bitch?
You got this. Yeah, there's something that just flips the switch when you high-five yourself in the brain, because it's like seeing it as an accomplishment, as you already accomplished something and you're high-fiving yourself for it.
Yeah.
So even if you don't want to mirror talk, like, it's dumb or I don't have time for it, I think people should at least high-five themselves.
Right.
Just a quick
If nothing else.
high-five,
yeah. So you moved back with your parents.
Yeah.
At that point, where was the transition after that?
So about a year later, I honestly spent my last penny. I remember counting out the change to my last penny for a security deposit and first month's rent and enough for some gas and food to be able to move to North Carolina.
Oh, so you wanted to move back here?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about North Carolina do you like?
I liked not only the hospitality of the people, but also the weather. And of course, you know, I had a couple best friends I made, Sam included, and I just felt like that was where I needed to be.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So just listening to your thoughts.
Yeah, and it was just my gut feeling like I can't stay here because that version of me that was in Illinois is not the version of me that I want to be. It's not where I'm going, and I didn't want to be surrounding myself around that energy of, you know, high school Zaklina.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what I was there. And that's what I was also treated as there and seen as there.
Yeah.
And so that's a big reason why I felt I needed to be here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when you moved, were you nervous around that transition period right there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I remember, you know, messaging Coinbase to make sure I took out everything to be able to move. And, it was, I was like, this is it. I'm either going to make it or not make it.
Yeah.
But I made it with a big challenge in the middle of it because my car was totaled.
Oh my God. Like while you were driving here?
Literally driving there. Yeah.
Damn.
And that money for food and gas was spent on towing and hotel.
Damn.
Yeah.
So what'd you do? Were you able to scrounge up
Sam to the rescue.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
Interesting.
He rented a minivan to come and pick us up with our stuff, and we made it.
Damn.
And hey, it was the best choice I've made because it kind of propelled me to move forward. Because think about it, if I didn't have that, I would still be like, okay, I can, you know, do whatever, mess around for a little bit and then get serious. But instead, it kind of forced me to be serious. So if you put yourself in a emergency situation and take a risk, I feel like that propels you to take the step that you need to take, that you know you need to take, that you haven't taken.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the situation I put myself in.
Yeah. I feel like some people do that on purpose too. Like they have to have deadlines in order to complete something.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of close there. But
yeah.
I mean, even I catch myself doing that too sometimes, but that's probably more of a therapy session then. Of why I do that and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of people do it, you know, and I think it's because they're not clear about their goal. Something about setting a date and time to a goal that kind of makes you say, oh, wow, this is a serious goal.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, New Year's resolutions. The new year, I'm going to start this, start that. 2 weeks later, back to it.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, you know, start now and say the actual date and time you're going to start and actual date and time you're going to end, whether it's quitting smoking, quitting vaping, or starting a health journey, whatever it may be, you know.
Right. I think it's hard for people because it's their own goals. So it's almost like it's okay if there's some slack in there, right?
Yeah.
But maybe doing what you suggested, but also letting them keep in mind that they're only lying to themselves.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't achieve or don't meet that date.
Oh, yeah. They're only going to feel more doubt in themselves when they don't fulfill that. Because then they're going to say, okay, I lied to myself again. Here we go again. Let me try. But just like the company 84 Lumber, it took them 84 tries, 84 fails to become a business. That's why that's fun fact.
Oh, interesting.
Fun fact. So, you know, don't give up. We usually give up right when it's there.
Yeah, that's true.
Right before.
Right before the cusp.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like sometimes there's signs that it's coming, but people don't catch it sometimes, you know?
Oh, yeah. I myself didn't catch quite a few things, but at some point you have to not catch them to learn them, because if everything works out for you,
what did you learn?
What did you learn? Then when it comes to a tough situation, you freak out and shut down because you've never dealt with it before. Yeah. Now at a later date, when it might be more serious now.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, that's true. So what happened with the car? Did you just leave it there and like, okay, bye?
Pretty much.
And never went back for it?
No, I mean, it was totaled. It was
totaled.
done.
Oh, so you got in a wreck. Is that what that meant?
Yeah.
So.
So I tried to get it towed to see if it would be fixed, but it was just completely done.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
Well, no more car payment.
Yeah, with that one, yeah.
It'll save some time. I mean, some gas.
Yeah, so, I mean, it took me a month of Ubers before I got a new car, but...
they can get expensive.
Oh, yeah, I racked up the bills for sure, but it worked out.
Yeah. Did you have a job when you got here, or what were you doing?
No, I didn't. I pretty much just said, hey, I'm going to go back to bartending to fund starting my business, to kind of get my feet back off the ground. Gotcha. And so that's what I did for a while there. And
so at that point in your life, you know, you were obviously bartending and gathering up and stuff like that. Was there, while you were bartending, and were you doing things that you knew your business needed to get done? Like...
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I felt like bartending was a great way to network with certain people. But then again, I felt like the people that I was surrounded with kind of dragged me down a little bit.
Gotcha.
And I was from a kind of a more 4D view instead of 3D view.
Yeah.
That I'm a little bit above mentally at the level I want to be. I feel like people were working more like robots and not really because they wanted to be there.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right,
And for me, I was trying to just make sure that I complete my goals to not be continuing that.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, it's tough when you're surrounded. I think that's the hardest. Well, I don't know. One of the hardest, I guess you could say. It's like, especially when you're working in that environment, you have to be around those people, right?
Yeah.
And so, I guess that's where the subconscious kicks in. Is like, how are you going to deal with this? You know? Were you like consciously aware of that?
I was. Yeah. I was. There were a lot of good people that I became friends with, but I was definitely aware of, you know, this is temporary. This is just the in-between phase, you know, before you can really excel more in your business, and just had to stick through it.
Yeah, I tell myself that from time to time. It's like, everything is temporary.
Yeah.
Just
Everything
wait it
is
out.
temporary.
Just wait it out.
Yeah.
Except for love.
Yeah. No, that's true. Love for all people.
Love is all.
You know?
So, you moved back here. Da, da, da. So what was the next transition in your life? Did you see some type of light at that point?
Yeah, I saw some light at that point. I realized that some of the people that I worked with cared, and some of the people in my life I worked with just didn't care about you. And I'm talking managers here, you know, because they have to meet a certain criteria, things like that, and care kind of can go out the window. And so I was feeling confident that I can do something that I love and not be at a 9 to 5, and I can have more time freedom. And so the light at the tunnel was, hey, I'm going to have more time with my kid now. And that kind of validated that what I was doing was, in fact, the right path.
Gotcha. So you have a kid?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 years old.
Oh, 6. Wow. Okay, so he, she... He. So he moved with you down here to Illinois. I mean, that makes it even more challenging.
Oh, yeah. It was. It definitely was. That's why I was on the struggle bus for a while. He thankfully was not in the ride to Illinois with us.
Okay.
He was with my parents, and then they came at a later date and with him to visit and get him over here.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Man, wow, yeah, because like at that point, you're not just thinking about yourself, you're thinking about him too.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right? All those sleepless nights and fights, it's all worth it. It's all worth it.
But like, you know, a lot of people would say like, I can't really fulfill my dreams because I have a kid, you know? And it's like, okay, I don't have a kid.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can achieve your dreams with, even if you have a kid.
I mean, they're just like your little Pikachu evolving and doing everything with you. I mean, for me, I personally didn't even want to have kids, but I am so happy that I did. It's just, you don't understand until you have one. And I knew that was the case for me as well. But, you know, that comes back to the point, you know, they're using their kids as an excuse instead of their kids as their reason. Oh, I don't have time for this. But you need to make time for this in order to make time for this.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a whole switch in your mindset on it, because I used to do the same. Like, oh, I can't, you know, fully sit down and work on my business because I have a kid. I can't come to work not late bartending because I have a kid.
Right.
But I need to do this. I need to make money, and I need to help people because that helps me be a better mother, and that helps me have even more time freedom to have time for my kid.
Yeah, that's true. When was that switch for you? Was it while you were bartending?
It happened probably, I would say, beginning of 2022.
Okay, gotcha. Were you still bartending at the time?
Maybe summer 2022. Gotcha. I was on the end of it. And that's when I was like, you know, I can't make any more excuses.
Yeah, you got to that limit. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
So with your business, was there kind of like, how do you start off with that? How do you start off with a mindset business? Is it just working with someone, one person at a time kind of thing?
Well, I would say to start, you have to be confident with what you're doing. Because if you're not confident and you don't know what you're doing, which most of the time no one knows what they're doing. Yeah. But you have to be confident in the way that you can at least show to yourself that you want to do this, because people don't care about your credibility. People care that you care most of the time.
Right.
That you know, you'll have a few people who are like, okay, show me your licenses, show me this and that. But most of the time, they just care that you care. And so going back to your question, you know, how do you even start? Is,
well, more for you. Like how did you start?
How did
honestly?
I start?
Yeah.
I just, you know, you just have to start.
Yeah.
You just have to. I started reaching out to people, saying, hey, guess what? This is what I'm doing now. If you know anybody that needs help, let me know. Or, hey, can I give you a free consultation or free session and get your feedback?
Oh, that's a good idea.
So I started with that, you know, getting feedback, talking to people, communicating of what I'm doing. Because if you don't ask and if you don't show what you're doing, no one's going to know. And you're just going to get no.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So I guess in the simplest way, just start telling your story, start moving forward and doing what you want to do by talking to people.
So what's your story?
My story? I mean, the whole 2020. The whole 2020. I mean, I would be honest with my clients. Look, this is why I started. You know, let's be real. It was a tough year, and I'm ready to help people since I've been able to help myself. And you know, that started a genuine connection, because most people, when they start, they try to be a little bit salesy, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of, you know, people get too many of those messages.
Sure.
It's a turn off.
Right.
So I just make, automatically. So I just make genuine connections, like, you know, just, hey, I really, you know, what I really do like about their lifestyle, or you know, thank you for your support. If there's anything I can support you with, let me know. And you know, sometimes they open up and sometimes thank you, but I make genuine connections. You know, I'm not going to push. I'm not going to say, hey, you need this.
Why aren't you doing it?
Click the link now. I mean, of course, I'm going to advertise myself.
For sure, you have to.
You know, but as in personal, private messages, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the more you give, the more people will see something and you'll get something in return.
Yeah, give value. Giving value to gain attention from those who really need your help.
Yeah, well, giving value, and I'll add on to that, without the expectation of something in return.
Yes.
I think that's why
100%.
people slip up.
Yes.
Because they want to add that little line at the end that is like salesy, right?
Yeah, no, you can't expect anything in return, right? So, you know, at first it could have been for me more so about the money, getting back up on my feet at, you know, the very beginning stages, because let's be honest, I was drowning, and that was my first time I figured this is the way. But once my mindset clicked to the more I help people, then it'll just flow naturally. That's when it really.
That's when the change happened.
Changed,
right?
Yeah. Because you could tell by the energy. Oh, I just want, you know, I just need this client, or you know.
Yeah. Especially when you're going through hard times and you need the money, and you start like reaching out to people, but it seems like you're a little desperate.
Yeah.
Know? It's like, okay, gotcha. But you know, I guess it's a balance thing.
It's a balance.
You choose your battles and stuff like that. So,
yeah. Yeah, that's how it goes, and I'm sure every you know, small business owner learns that along the way. But at least they start somewhere. Yeah. They start somewhere and have that confidence in themselves and believe in what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because if you believe in what you're doing, you know, the passion comes naturally. You know, like you can tell that I absolutely love helping people. I've even told clients, don't worry about it. You're struggling right now. I'm not going to make you pay right now because I understand what you're going through.
Right.
you know? And then they're even more thankful and more inclined to spread the word.
Yeah.
Versus me saying,
because they want to help you somehow if they're not paying, right?
Yeah, let's go over this. Let me help you. You know, let's make a smaller payment plan. You know, smaller payment plans.
That works better for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that reminds me of when I taught acting. You know, it was always, yeah, I'm getting paid for this, but outside of it, let me help you. You know what I mean? It's like these little things. Well, because I want to see them do better.
Right.
You know? So
right.
It's just kind of the same. It's the same thing that
you're definitely. I mean, as long as you don't have people take advantage of you, because there comes a boundary where you can tell when people are taking advantage of it, and you can tell when people are not and are grateful. And so you just kind of have to make that judgment, set that boundary.
I think that comes down to like self-awareness.
Yeah. And
like how self-aware you are with things and people around you.
Right.
Do you I don't know if I should say teach or mention that to your clients about self-awareness?
I do talk about a lot of self-awareness things. You know, are you a people pleaser? You know, are you doing this for someone else, or are you doing this because it's literally what you want? Yeah. Is it for yourself? Because you have to be aware on how much you are renting out your life to somebody and not owning your life.
Oh, wow.
To yourself.
Never heard it say that. Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
Renting yourself out. Yeah, that's interesting. When you obviously started off with one person to with your business and stuff like that, right? So like, how was that experience? How was that first person for you? Was it, you were nervous? Were you like excited, obviously, maybe?
A lot of planning, a lot of practicing to myself, a lot of recording myself.
Oh, interesting. You went that far.
I went that far because I wanted to make sure that I am 100%. Yeah. And obviously that client was as a free session. And it went well. Yeah. It went really well. And I realized that I just can crumple up and throw my paper away, because everything that was said during that session naturally flowed already. And I'm sure the practice helped, but my passion and my, you know, coaching mode just kind of came to life in there, because I knew I really wanted to help this person. Yeah. That's a good place to be. You know, you don't need a script or anything. You just, you know, you could trust your skill sets, right? I think that's what it boils down to. Yeah. Is how much do you trust yourself to do the right thing or say the right things and all that stuff. Yeah. So, made me question everything. Why did I practice so much? But I know it helped in certain ways. Well, you're putting in the work, you know. It's okay. It's not bad. This just reminds me of that's something I would tell Sam a lot too, is that you got to trust yourself. Yeah. You know, you can make a decision. You trust yourself. Right. You do a good job, you know, and all that stuff. So. Oh yeah, he's phenomenal. He definitely deserves to trust himself. I mean, absolutely. So he takes time in his work. He really does. Yeah. So after this, how's that feeling after when you got off the phone or a video call? Yeah, it was a Zoom call. It was when Zoom started getting big, right? Okay. Zoom was getting big, it was exploding, and everything started being online, working online, and everything like that. And so the pandemic actually helped me in that way, because, you know, people weren't really allowed to travel with the quarantine and things like that. But practicing, this was end of 2020, beginning of 2021. Practicing, you know, during that time, it felt achievement. I just felt pure achievement after that call. I felt like this is just confirmation of what I was meant to do, because I literally got a text message after saying, I couldn't be more thankful. Thank you so much for guiding me, pushing me. I'm so glad I found you, smiley face, or, you know, something like that. That's a good feeling. I was just like, I'm gonna cry now. Let me just screenshot that real quick. And I did, to remind myself, don't quit. Don't quit, because this is what you are capable of now.
Yeah.
There's no more doubt anymore because you proved it to yourself. So it was like a really good moment for me.
That's a good idea to do. Just like screenshot all the thanks that you get from your clients and all that stuff, and then just put them on the wall to remind yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, some people do that. Some people use it as reviews.
Oh, yeah.
And they just, you know, edit it into like a review bubble picture and things like that.
Yeah.
But
that's great. I mean, after the first one, like it just kind of, do you think it just kind of snowballed?
I wouldn't say snowballed. I would say slowly but surely.
Okay.
Slowly but surely.
Because you still got to get your name out there and stuff like that.
Right. It definitely took a while to get my name out there. I changed my name once, actually, my business name.
Okay.
It was Create Your Dreams, right? And so I changed it to Wealthy Mindset Solutions. And I felt like that feels better to even say, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because Create Your Dreams sounds a little bit
broad.
Yeah.
A little broad.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. Did you make that change like early on, or is it like later on?
Probably, I would say half a year later.
Okay.
Yeah. So still pretty early on.
Yeah. So how was your business structure? Did you find yourself always tweaking things here and there, big changes a lot? You know, how was that?
I would say learn as you go, tweaking, always learning what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
A lot of testing out, you know, what to even post, what to even say. But mostly I learned the most tweaking was to get away from the mindset of what my family and friends think.
Interesting.
Because strangers are what make your business thrive.
Yeah.
We go to a store, are we the owner's family? No, we purchase products because we love them, because we believe in them. So that was the biggest tweak, I would say.
That's funny how that works. It's like, it's like my friends and family love me, but like it's the customers, the people you don't know that are gonna make a really big difference.
And you learn that real quick if you ever become a business owner. You learn real quick who actually will be supportive to you and who doesn't really care in the first place, or tries to put you in a poor light because they've never done it themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the thing that you see the most often when you first start working with a client?
A lot of time management issues. A lot of anxiety issues.
Yeah.
And that they all stem from financial strain. Or not knowing how to not spend a lot of their money.
Right.
So.
Do you think it's, well, I guess I was going to say more like, because like when I think about financial issues, you know, I think about like, you know, a lot of people have issues in relationships because of financial issues. Right?
Yeah, it's one of the top 3 reasons people get divorced.
Yeah. So, but I guess if you're single, it's a relationship to yourself that you're having an issue with financially. So finance is the
huge thing for
you, huh?
Yeah.
How do you overcome that? I mean, people are different.
Yeah, everyone first admitting what your actual problem is.
Yeah.
Diving in and seeing, okay, are you just bad with your money, you know, spending it, or do you just not make enough? And kind of creating a roadmap of, okay, what can you adjust on a monthly basis, and use the money that you would have normally spent to invest into something that will help you.
Yeah.
Or to save that money.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the savings is the big one. So let's talk more in general, right?
Yeah.
So like, you got a client. What's kind of like the first few steps that you do with them?
Just from start to finish?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have someone interested, right? I give them a free consultation or a consultation, depending on if I'm doing free consultations at that time, whatever it is. And I see if they're even a fit for me, because I need to be a fit for them, but also I need to see if they're a fit for me. And I tell them right away, like, I'm sorry, but I feel like I'm not the one you're looking for. And I feel like therapy would be more beneficial for you. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm saying that as in they can help you dive into your past more than I can, because I'm more focused on the future. And so I put that into their perspective.
Okay.
And I let them know, come back to me when you let go of that.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's a good step to go.
Yeah, so first I kind of see if they're an ideal client, and then I tell them what to expect during their first session, you know, what do they need to work on, what problems they have, and then we focus on that and just create an action plan where we can, for example, for one client, I would write out 30 goals, right?
Yeah.
Pick your top 10. Then do 3 action steps for each goal. Do 1 action step a day. In 30 days, you've achieved 10 goals.
No matter how small or big?
Now that depends. Because your first 30 goals, the top 10 goals are usually the ones that you need ASAP, that you need, you know, the most right now.
Gotcha.
But obviously there's more into it.
Sure, depending on the situations.
On the situations and things like that. But that is just a way to start, right? A way to start if they don't even know what they need.
Right.
Or, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
But if they do know what they need, and they're like, hey, I have social anxiety. Or, hey, I don't know how to pay my rent. But I know I need to invest myself so that you can help me, because it's more beneficial and I'm going to have more money than I would have without investing in myself or in you.
Right.
So then I would go towards, all right, let's do a financial analysis. Let's see what you're spending on. Let's see what you need per month. Let's tweak that. And then action steps to tweak that.
Gotcha.
And then more in detail and things like that.
Do you set like dates from the very beginning kind of thing, like due dates?
I wouldn't say from the very beginning.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on the person, really. It depends on their goals and what they're looking for, what issues they have with day-to-day challenges. But I would say there's always a goal that you set at first that's generalized. But then when you get into it, that's when you set specific dates, because that's when you know more so how much time would this take, or how deep is this issue. If it's a deeper core issue that you can't resolve within, 3 months, it's gonna take longer. And obviously, I'll give my 100% as long as they give their 100%.
Right. How do you gauge that? Like how long things are gonna take, you know?
You know how I gauge it? From my own experience, because most of the time, the people that come to me, I've experienced mostly everything that they already are going through.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So how do you feel about like goals? Like, cause like, I don't know. I'm starting to, like, I've always been like a goal guy.
Yeah.
At least tried my best.
Yeah.
But like, you have these goals, maybe you achieve it, maybe you don't, but at a certain point, you come to realize that like, oh, I don't know if this is the right goal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so obviously you would say, let's tweak it, or
let's reassess.
I guess getting down to the root of the problem would be the way to go about it.
Yeah, getting down to the root of the problem, every month reassessing, is this the right current goal, or is there a more pressing matter now?
Oh, yeah.
as well. And also how deeply rooted is this goal?
Right.
Because we have to break it apart piece by piece in order to fully achieve it. Otherwise, it's just going to keep going back to the same pattern, same routine that we're trying to get away from, because most people have a cycle, a financial cycle. You know, they finally make the money to have a little bit extra, right? And then boom, something happens and they're back to square one, and they have to, you know, save up again. Or
Yeah, that's true. That's tough too, because like you might have that goal for a long time, and it's almost like it's a part of you, because like even the people around you is like they influenced you with that goal and stuff like that, and it's like it's almost like you got to break the habits and break the patterns and almost break up relationships in order to change a goal.
That's absolutely true. You know, and for goals, I say there are A goals, B goals, and C goals, right? The A goal is you're achieving something that you've already achieved, right? Maybe you want to run a mile. You know that you've ran it before. Or let's say you bought a vehicle before and you're just getting a new one.
Okay, yeah.
You know, something like that.
Yeah.
A B goal is when, if I do this and work really hard, then I know I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to have this outcome if I do this. So it's more like a math equation.
Right.
And a C goal is, there's no way in hell I'm going to achieve this, but I'm going to try anyway. This goal is so out of this world, but I'm going to work my butt off to achieve it. And this could be, I'm going to have $1 million. Or, you know, I'm going to, whatever it may be that they normally don't think is attainable.
Right. How important is that having a C goal?
I think if you don't have a C goal, you're always going to be in your comfort zone.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
If you don't have a C goal, you're always going to be in your comfort zone.
Yeah, that's true. And I catch myself being a little too comfortable as well. So it's a hard habit to break, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
Being comfortable and stuff like that. So is that something that's common too that you see? Is like just people being comfortable.
Yeah.
And they don't want to change, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. People are scared of change. People need to get to the other side to create that change.
Yeah.
But it's fear of responsibility usually that holds them back.
Oh, responsibility?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see that for sure. And it's fear of success I could see as well. Because like with whatever you, depending on what you do, you might have more eyes on you.
Right.
And that could be scary.
Right.
So, interesting.
Right. But we just got to keep going.
Yeah.
People are going to talk about you regardless. We all know that. So why not just keep going?
Do you find yourself having clients that have a lot of influence from other people?
Yes.
In a negative way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to tell them, hey, this person's not good for you and you know it. Why are you wasting your time?
Oh, so you're blunt like that?
Sometimes I have to be.
Right? Yeah.
Sometimes I have to be. You know, you kind of have to gauge the situation of how their brain works and how their responses work.
Yeah.
And kind of cater it to that, because sometimes if you're too blunt too fast, the growth may not work.
Right.
Or the
relationship between
relationship
you guys.
may not work.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. I feel like you have to have a great sense of human awareness in order to do what you do, kind of thing.
Yeah, emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what you meant to say.
Yeah.
It is. And I feel like as an empath, it's a little bit easier for me. You know, to read the body language, the communication style, you know, are they hiding something? Are they telling me everything? Typically, I haven't really had the problem of, hiding something, but it's easier to read someone when you're an empath, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Feel the energy of the person.
Yeah. I mean, that's when the script goes out the window. You just
just
read the body language. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's funny. So, do you have any notes for me? Or is it just notes for you to write?
Oh, that's notes for me to write.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
I was wondering because we were talking about scripts and like being prepared and stuff like that. And so I was wondering if that was like kind of the thing as well.
No, but this is like my lucky journal. So a little bit about this, why I brought this is when I go to a convention, entrepreneur convention or wealth bowl convention or things like that, all the guest speakers, I would write notes from them in this journal. And it kind of made me feel lucky to have experienced the presence of some of these leaders. Ed Milet, Brendan Bouchard, people like that. Especially if I know other coaches influenced by them or directly coached by them that have coached me or things like that. It's just amazing to so I keep this around me when, I'm doing something important.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So as far as like you going out and getting experience from other motivational speakers or whatever it is, how important is that for you? Is it like, do you still like make sure you do that kind of thing?
I try to, because as humans, we all have to keep our childlike enthusiasm up. Does that make sense? If you get bored and tired of your day-to-day or it's too much of a routine and you get unmotivated, you need to find something that'll make you feel like you're free and happy again. And, when we're children, we're carefree, we're happy, we're in our best moments usually. And so if you don't have something motivating you or to look forward to kind of amp your energy up, then you're just going to start getting bored or...
Do you talk about energy a lot when with your clients?
I feel like that's important.
Yeah.
I feel like you definitely take on the energy of other people. If you're in a elevator with someone angry, sometimes that can kind of, rub off on you a little bit.
Right.
So I do talk about that. What energy are you being around? What energy do you feel like you take from other people? Are you near an energy sucker? Or are you someone that kind of brings you energy and joy? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I did some hypnosis a while back. I still do it from time to time, I think. I can't remember the last time I did it. But it's a hypnosis where it's like creating a bubble around you. And whatever negative things are being said to you or whatever it is, it hits the bubble and transitions into what the deeper root of the problem is for them. It's they didn't have love when they grew up, so that's why he's saying these mean things to you. So to not let it affect you, I guess you could say.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
No, I love that. I love that little technique within your hypnosis because it really makes you realize that confirm that hurt people, and in their situation, maybe you would have done the same, but if they have gotten that love and respect that they needed or that validation they needed, it's a reflection of their needs, right?
Right.
It's a reflection of what's missing.
Yeah, it is. Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Look at you. Doing good things in the world.
Good things in the world. Yep.
Right.
So more on the energy and hypnosis.
Sure.
Did you feel a change in your energy personally during the first session, or did it take you quite a few?
For me, it was a huge difference. I think because I'm an empath and I can read body language so well. Energy is really a thing for me. I could, like spiritually and everything like that, with spirits and stuff like that. But energy is big. So that big, when I did the first hypnosis, yeah, it was huge because it was a big change. I could feel it in my body, in my energy. It was different.
Okay, that's what I wanted. Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at. So yeah, it was like a higher energy. I was like, whoa, you know. I think the first hypnosis I did was with one of my friends that does it, and he's a pickup artist.
Okay.
And he coaches people for pickup artists, and so I was the type of person that was like, I don't know what to say, you know, and stuff like that when going out in public. And so we did a hypnosis, and I could not stop talking afterwards. It's like my energy level was so high that I was naturally just spewing out words.
Wow. Do you think it balanced your throat chakra?
Yeah. Right? I never thought about that, but yeah, I think it did.
Maybe.
I think that's what it is. And then after that, I kind of got hooked a little bit. You know, after that, I was like, oh, what else can I do?
Right. The possibilities are endless.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And started, you know, just diving deep into hypnosis, meditation, law of attraction things. That's where my spiritualism is. Yeah. This is where my religion is. Right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, you start getting into going deeper as far as like plant medicine and stuff like that. You know, did some shrooms, some MDMA, some DMT, you know, like sessions and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Kind of just opened up a whole new world.
Oh, I can't even, I fully believe in psychedelic microdosing in order to really experience a different view on life and appreciating all the little things more.
Yeah. I think people are scared of it.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe that's like maybe something that they're scared of the truth, maybe?
I think that's the root of it, right? Is they're scared to know what truths they're going to find about themselves, or facing it more so. Facing their truths.
Yeah. And facing the fears, which has come down to the truth of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And like, I think it comes down to the comfortability thing too, right? Because they don't want to get uncomfortable like that.
Yeah, the discomfort, before the comfort is too real.
Yeah.
And I know that they do plant medicine now with shrooms, right? They do microdosing to help people with their depression and anxiety and things like that.
Right.
So it clearly works.
Yeah.
And I know a couple people that have went through retreats or things like that with plant medicine, and it's been incredible. So I definitely...
Yeah, absolutely. I think my next goal is to make it to, I don't know, the Amazon or somewhere, the jungle, not the business, to do some ayahuasca.
Yeah,
and,
nice.
I think that's my next kind of goal. But yeah, that's a planning thing. So.
It takes a lot of mental preparation.
Yeah.
For that, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think because I dived so deep into it, was because I felt like I changed my life at 24. And so those first 24 years of my life, I felt like I wasn't being seen, I wasn't being true to myself.
Okay.
And so like when I changed my life, I had to play catch up.
Okay.
And so like, okay, let me just go straight into the deep end.
Right. You just plunged for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, big risk taker, which maybe stems from trauma that I've had. But at the end of the day, it's like, I know those things that I do are going to be better for me in the long run.
Right.
So, have you experimented with any kind of plant medicines or anything like that?
I have experimented with shrooms. I have not experimented with, ayahuasca or, but I'm definitely open to diving in that part, because I feel like in the end it's going to open up my subconscious a lot more, and it's going to help me rise above certain things that I still have trouble with.
Right.
So I feel like it's helpful. It would be helpful for anybody, really.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Do you want to tell everybody where they could find you?
Sure, yeah, you could find me at stan.store/Wealthy Mindset Solutions. You can also find me at Zaklina Claudia or Wealthy Mindset Solutions if you want to check out Instagram, things like that. I am so excited to have been here and talking to you. It's been a pleasure, and I'm excited to hopefully talk to you sometime again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think it's going to be fun. Yeah, absolutely.
And there are so many topics we could dive into.
I know. There's so many topics, but I appreciate you being here. It really means a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.